Hi, I'm Joey Coleman. I want to welcome you to my office, and we're going to go through some of the steps that I take before I actually go live at a city council meeting. Today is July 3rd. Council meets on Monday, July 6th for a General Issues Committee meeting. So what I've done so far is I've completed my entire read-through of the agenda, flagged all the items, and now the next step is to create graphics ahead of the meeting. So right now you see here, this is my office at the Seedworks. Over here is my internet computer, so this is monitoring for news and email. And over here is my graphics computer. So this here is the new software that I was able to purchase from your support of my February crowdfunding campaign. So the computer here processes the video and adds graphics. So right now I'm creating the graphics over here. Now, what you have set up here is my video camera, which is feeding through a router to this computer. This computer then puts the video into a program called Wirecast, where I add the graphics and then puts the video out. All of this occurs with less than 1 second of delay, which gives you an idea of why I need to purchase a very good laptop, because to process HD video is very intensive on both the processor and the graphics card. So let's get started here. The graphics themselves are made in After Effects and then imported to Wirecast, which means before a meeting I have to create all the graphics for each agenda item for the speaker, because during the meeting itself my computer is almost entirely tied up with processing the live video. So if I try to create a graphic during a live broadcast, it takes up to 3 minutes per graphic, which in a live setting you might as well not even bother, because they're probably moving on to the next item. So this graphic that we're creating here is the upper right graphic. This serves two purposes. One, that when you tune in, you know what committee is meeting. And then second, when you watch the replay, at all times you're able to tell exactly what meeting and when the video that you're watching is from. So we create it, and then we have to process it. And it's a nice and quick render for this when the computer is not doing anything else. So this takes about 7 seconds to process without running live video. If I was running live video, that would take about a minute. And then easy enough to just drop and drag it into Wirecast, and I'll throw it down here in the bottom because it will merge with my main video screen. This is what you're going to be seeing. So what I'm creating is the primary video display, which is just the video of the live meeting. Right now you're seeing Cody here filming, and then you have the Creative Commons license. As you know, I try to open license everything that I do. Now that we've brought the graphic into Wirecast, we just need to make one more edit to make sure that it stays on screen. So I can quickly play the graphic as it would appear, and see at the end there it'll come off. So I set the end time here when it's full screen and tell it to hold so that it will stay on screen while they're discussing the item. And so if we were actually in a meeting situation, we would start with just that top and then my Creative Commons license at the bottom. Now that we've done it, so if we were live and I wanted to show this, I put it here, and this is the preview window. So this is what's coming up next. This is what people at home are seeing. And then I've clicked it to go live. So this would be what you would see at home, and then it will hold position. So if during the discussion about relocating the Hall of Fame, I want to let viewers at home know who is speaking, I have to first take off the lower third for the Hall of Fame, then add the speaker. So let's say it was Councillor Doug Conley, and then click go live to make that transition. And now you can see who is speaking. So part of the agenda review is actually going through the agendas and determining who the staff are that wrote the reports, and making sure I have graphics ready in case council asks that staff member a question. And a lot of the times I don't even know who the staff member is until I meet them at the meeting. So it's safe to assume people at home without that graphic would not know who is speaking. And then the first thing I do is set up the tripod, the camera, the internet router, and I try to get the camera fully synced and booted up. So we plug in the Teradek and it starts its boot sequence. The boot sequence takes usually about 3 minutes, sometimes up to 5. And what I'm waiting for is 3 of these lights to be green. And some days it's real quick, other days it's slow. And what it comes down to is that the box here needs to sync the video with the camera. And then once it's done syncing the video it's receiving from the camera, it has to compress it and then sync it to my computer. So the sync phases is what takes a while. There we are. Now it's booting up the Ethernet, which means connecting to the it's connecting to the router. And the 2 green lights there means it's got a connection to the computer, and that the video from the camera to the Teradek Cube is of proper quality and speed, or proper quality, resolution, and frame rate. And now what we're waiting for with the red light is for the Teradek to be able to process the video and start sending it to the computer with less than a second of delay. And sometimes this is real quick, other days this takes up to 2 minutes. There are times where I wish I had the Jeopardy sound just to play it I play it in my head.
Oh, we'll play it on the video.
And there we go. And now everything's ready. The video is now flowing to the computer, and from the computer I go live to YouTube. Audio from the council feed. Audio from my camera, so this is when the councilors decide to heckle at each other off microphone. And finally, the audio output to the camera. And that takes about 15 minutes to 20 minutes to set up for a meeting.